Welcome to the 2021 Deakin Alumni Awards. We are delighted to connect with so many of our Deakin community from around the world in this year's event. With a proud history, we celebrate the 10th year of our Deakin Alumni Awards, celebrating and recognising outstanding alumni from various industries and across the world. We are proud of all of their achievements. Deakin's greatest success stories and advocates are our graduates, who have studied across the 5 Deakin campuses: Warrnambool Campus, Geelong Warm Ponds Campus, Geelong Waterfront Campus, Burwood Campus, and via the cloud online. Now let us share the incredible stories of our 2021 Alumni Award recipients.
Yama Malia. Hello friends, and welcome to the 2021 Deakin University Virtual Alumni Awards. My name is Dr. Paul Harrison and I'm the Deputy Director of Deakin's MBA program, a Senior Lecturer in the Deakin Business School and a Deakin alumnus. Thank you all for joining us today. As a descendant of the Gamilaroi Yuwalare mob from around Lightning Ridge in northwest New South Wales, and on behalf of Deakin University, I want to acknowledge the elders, past, present and emerging, of all the lands we live and work on with gratitude and respect. And I want to extend my respect and welcome to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander mob or other First Nations people from around the world who are joining us today. Our First Nations elders are the heartbeat of our ancestors. They are the cornerstone of our kinship circles. Elders connect us to our past, ground us in the present, and empower us into the future. So I'm joining you today from Naarm, which is on the traditional lands of the Kulin Nation. The Kulin Nation is a collective of 5 Aboriginal nations, and their collective territory extends around Port Phillip and Western Port, up into the Great Dividing Range and the Loddon and Goulburn River valleys. The Kulin Nation has inhabited this area for more than 40,000 years, and prior to colonisation was a nation of more than 20,000 people. But no matter where you live, I encourage you to get out and about and learn about the history of your place. Australia is a sacred old place that belongs to more than 250 First Nations. Get in touch with your local land council. Look online for Indigenous-owned and managed resources, products or enterprises, or talk to the First Nations leaders in your community. Wherever you are, there is a rich Indigenous history that is so ready to be understood and acknowledged. As my mum used to say, get out and get your feet dirty. Listen to the locals, listen to the land. You'll probably learn something you didn't know. So this year, we're celebrating 10 years of Deakin's Alumni Awards program. And I'd like to take this opportunity to reflect on how far Deakin has come since 1975, when our first graduates walked out of our doors and into the world. Today, Deakin is proud to have over 300,000 alumni in our community, of which our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Martin, has had the challenging task of selecting 7 to acknowledge in this year's Alumni Awards. Each of the alumni recognised today have made significant contributions to the community and exemplified Deakin's values of excellence, ethics, sustainability and inclusivity in their professional and personal lives. Each recipient has helped us to create a video to share their stories with you, and we'll be showing these to you very soon. Now, we've set up a comment function today so that you can share any thoughts or messages with other attendees and our award recipients who have joined the event and will be able to see them. We'd also love to hear from where you're joining us from. The comments box is just below the video player on your webpage. We also encourage all of those tuning in today to use the hashtag Deakin Alumni Awards, all one word, when posting on social media about the event. So we've already received a few comments. Kate says, so excited to meet the award recipients. Cynthia says that she's tuning in from Perth. Hi, Cynthia. And Matthew is joining from Singapore and is very excited for the event. So before we announce this year's winners, I'd like to warmly invite Vice-Chancellor Professor Ian Martin to speak.
Thank you and welcome everyone. The annual Deakin Alumni Awards is a highlight in the university's calendar. This year marks our 10th annual awards ceremony and is our second virtual event. The last 2 years have no doubt been a great challenge for us all. They've tested our resilience and our community spirit. However, our alumni have been steadfast in the face of these challenges. We've seen this in many ways, in their displays of resilience, determination and inclusiveness, such as providing work-integrated learning opportunities to our students, sharing knowledge with our broader community, and providing financial support to our Student Emergency Assistance Fund, and so many other important philanthropic causes. I cannot understate the strength of our alumni and the positive impacts our community are making during this time. I, along with the university's senior leadership team, are incredibly optimistic about the next 12 months and the opportunities that 2022 has in store for us. The Deakin Alumni Awards is an event that is powered by that very optimism. We have always said our alumni are the best measure of our success. The Alumni Awards is an occasion to celebrate the achievements of individual graduates, but also, and very importantly, the difference our university is making in the world. More than ever, the world needs graduates who are highly skilled, adaptable, and ambitious. The education we provide to our students so often leads to lives of purpose, and we're seeing life-changing contributions in the areas that Deakin prioritises, including health and well-being, emerging technologies and the ethics surrounding their use, building safe and just communities, sustainability and sustainable energy production, sport, arts and culture education, and vitally strengthening democratic and civil society. Today is an opportunity to celebrate our highest achievers, to turn the spotlight on those who've studied with us, who grasp the opportunities made available to them and have made such a difference to the world. Congratulations to you all on your sustained energy and endeavour, your work ethic and your passion, and your commitment to making a difference to the lives of others. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. Now it's time to announce the 2021 Young Alumni of the Year recipients. Our first category for alumni who were under the age of 40 at the time of nomination. I'll now hand over to alumna and PhD candidate Pamela Barhoon to announce the 2021 Young Alumni Award recipients and reveal the trophy that this year's winners will all receive. Over to you, Pam.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm Pamela Barhoon and I'm excited to be introducing our Young Alumni of the Year recipients. Before we proceed, I'd like to show you this year's Deakin Alumni Award trophy. This year's trophy is inspired by the metaphor, "The world is in your hands," and uses the iconography of fingerprints to symbolise the ways in which our award recipients have made their mark on the world. The glass of the trophy represents the fingerprint, and when framed with the reclaimed timber, is illustrative of the map of Victoria's coastline, paying tribute to Deakin's rich history. The design of our trophies are very special to us. Once again, we have worked on a collaborative design project with Deakin students from the School of Communication and Creative Arts. Here is our student team, Claire Ailey, Abby Butler and Tom Ward, to take you through the behind the scenes of the design process.
In my design team for this project is myself, Abby, and then my two friends, Claire and Tom.
We've been asked by the Deakin Alumni Awards to put together a set of trophies for them, and they really wanted the trophies to capture the essence and values of Deakin.
we were, struggling a little bit with what we needed to do, and we realised that there was something missing. And that bit that we were missing was the story, the real heart of what we were wanting to do. And as we developed it a bit further, we came up with the idea of the fingerprint and calling it Make Your Mark.
Claire has been focusing on the actual trophy design, working through sketches.
And I've also created the fingerprint design for the trophy. This is the first fingerprint that I made, and then this is the refined version which has all the joins and the gaps to make it more realistic.
It also shows that every alumni follows a different journey and they're all unique, just like a fingerprint. We also took inspiration from the Victorian coastline, so the two wood elements in our trophy show the Victorian coastline, which represents the beginning of the alumni's journey. All the elements are sustainable and ethically sourced.
This is our refined design concept, with the glass coming out the side to represent the shape of a D, representing Deakin. From there, Tom created 2 3D renders, which really highlighted the design.
I think my favourite part of this process is just seeing how far we've come.
It's really helped me and the team understand the process and collaborating and bringing it all together into a final design.
And here is the trophy itself, which all our award recipients will receive. Once again, thank you to our students, Claire, Abby and Tom, for their hard work and creativity in developing this year's trophies. You have done a wonderful job tying in Deakin's commitment to sustainability with our other values of excellence, ethics and inclusivity. We'd also like to thank Maria Bates, lecturer from Deakin School of Communication and Creative Arts, for her support on the project, as well as Nico Hancock for capturing the behind-the-scenes design process of our student team. Now onto our award recipients. I'm pleased to introduce our first 2021 Young Alumni of the Year recipient, Aamir Qutub. Aamir Qutub is the CEO and founder of the Geelong-based company Enterprise Monkey, a multinational organisation that helps small startups, small and medium enterprises find solutions to their business processes. Aamir is also an investor and co-founder of several startups in Australia and founded the Entrepreneurs Geelong Network to promote entrepreneurship in the Geelong region. During our summer bushfires and COVID-19 lockdowns, Aamir combined his entrepreneurial spirit with his desire to help others in order to create Angel Next Door, an online platform connecting neighbours to provide local and emotional support to each other. Congratulations, Aamir Qutub.
My name is Aamir Qutub. I'm a serial entrepreneur and a tech investor with passion for social impact. Born in a regional city of India, I came to Australia to do my MBA from Deakin University as an international student, and I started working at ICT Geelong, an IT advocacy firm, first as an intern and then as an operations manager. Within 2 years, at the age of 25, I was appointed as the general manager of ICT Geelong. Now, working at ICT was great, but I was always passionate about entrepreneurship. So I launched my software company, Enterprise Monkey, in 2014 with an initial investment of $2,000. As Enterprise Monkey took off, I was able to expand the business to India, Dubai, and Malaysia. And now, 7 years later, we are a multinational company with over 50 team members and presence in 4 countries. I've created 3 successful businesses and invested in 8 technology startups. Last year, when COVID happened, people around the world were struggling, and I wanted to help. Moreover, I wanted to create a system so that people could help each other. So after investing $100,000 of my own money and spending countless hours, I created the Angel Next Door app. This app linked people who could use a helping hand with those willing to give, real-life angels in their area. And within a few months of launching, nearly 50,000 helpers all across Australia signed up to the app to give and receive assistance with all sort of tasks. And when COVID hit India last year and the people were struggling to find oxygens and medicine, we modified Angel Next Door to create a crowdsourcing COVID leads platform where more than 200,000 volunteers updated the leads and more than 500,000 people accessed help. Currently, I'm working on Mentor Monkey, a social learning network to help and educate young professionals and entrepreneurs around the world, and continuing my unending pursuit of making this world a better place with the help of technology. It's an absolute pleasure to receive this award from Deakin University because joining Deakin was a turning point in my life. I would like to dedicate this award to all the Deakin staff and my batchmates who have been supportive throughout my journey. And most importantly, my parents, mum and dad, my sisters and their husbands, Sabah and Faisal, Nida and Tanzil, for the amazing support that they have provided, and my beautiful wife, Sarah, for her never-ending support. Thank you so much once again.
An innovator with many achievements to his name. Congratulations, Aamir. Our second Young Alumni of the Year recipient for 2021 is Tanya Dontas. Tanya Dontas is the co-founder and Chief Operations Officer of Volley, an online marketplace and social enterprise that connects skilled people to not-for-profit organisations for skill-based online volunteering. Volley projects are exclusively online, meaning that people like you and I can donate their skills, time and experience from anywhere in the world around their busy schedules. Volley is unlocking millions of dollars in volunteer value for not-for-profits and allowing a new generation to make a change their own way. Congratulations to Tanya Dontas.
People typically don't volunteer for 3 reasons. The first is a perceived lack of time. The second is because they don't know how to get started. And the third is that they're overwhelmed by the thousands of different organisations to choose from. Volley combats all of this as Australia's first ever online volunteering platform that links modern day professionals to non-profits, charities and social enterprises for skills-based online volunteering. Volley projects are exclusively online, meaning that people can donate their skills and experience from anywhere in the world and around their busy personal and professional schedules. It gives you the ability to change the world without even getting out of your pajamas. You can see the direct difference that you're making with an organisation through digital volunteering and feel good knowing that there's a tangible effect your contribution will have on making the world a better place. Our vision is to see the world's biggest problems solved through skilled volunteering. In 4.5 years of operation, we have seen almost 5,000 projects, 280,000 volunteering hours, and over $5 million saved for the 900 and growing organisations using Volley. The work that we do with Volley has never been more important. At a time where we all remain apart, we can still connect with the causes that we care about most and make sure those organisations and non-profits can continue their incredible work across all fields without being left behind. Whether that's building a website for an animal welfare charity, developing a social media strategy for an environmental group, or creating a legal document for your favourite mental health NGO. Having studied a double degree of arts commerce at Deakin, I had the theory and foundations behind me to build a business from the ground up. Something that started as just an idea and a wish to make the world better was able to come to life. When Volley was in its earlier stages, we were also chosen to participate in the Deakin Spark Accelerator program, which provided us with guidance from some amazing mentors that have been supporting us well past the program, as well as some much needed funding. Fast forward to 3 years later, and I have been able to give back by becoming a mentor in the accelerator myself, sharing my learnings and knowledge with some great emerging startups. I am humbled to just be nominated for this award, let alone the honour of winning. It means the world to me to see Volley's achievements and impact acknowledged. And while 2021 has been another challenging year for all of us, it's important to remember that we are not all in the same boat, but we are all in the same storm. Let's remember to support each other and not judge. The benefits of volunteering include increased happiness, a reduction in stress levels, and better sleep. If you have the ability and the capacity to support and help others, there has never been a more important time to do so.
Congratulations again to our 2021 Young Alumni of the Year recipients. Now back to our Master of Ceremonies.
Thanks, Pam, and congratulations to Tanya Dontas and Aamir, two very deserving recipients. It's so wonderful to see our young alumni making such significant contributions. And thank you to everybody for your live comments. So here's a couple of them. So Nayaz says, congratulations to all the Alumni Award winners. No better way to show support to all the finalists and winners than being here virtually to applaud their success. Srechko says, what a wonderful trophy. A great story on how it was designed. And Rachel says, these trophies are exceptional. Well done, Abby, Claire and Tom. Now, I have the honour of announcing the 5 2021 Deakin Alumni of the Year Award recipients. Our first Alumni of the Year recipient is Dr. Matt Dingle. Dr. Matt Dingle worked as a lead engineer at Ford's product development facility in Geelong during the 90s and completed his PhD at Deakin University in collaboration with Ford stamping operations in 2001. Matt lectured at Deakin University before founding his own company, Applied Research and Development, specialising in engineering design services. Matt continues to be a leader of innovation building technology. Through his business FormFlow, the team developed the C90 FormFlow bend, a world first-class invention enabling sharp bends to be created in corrugated iron. Who figured? Matt and the FormFlow team have partnered with Deakin to develop affordable shelters for homeless people and disaster relief, collaborating with Deakin students and staff to help more people have a place to call home. Congratulations, Dr. Matt Dingle.
I'm Matt Dingle. I'm an engineer and I'm the Managing Director at FormFlow. My working career started as a boat builder, and that was because I loved boats. I started sailing and then I did competitive rowing for quite a number of years. That then led me to studying because I got to the point where I realised I didn't have the knowledge I needed to take things to the next level. So I studied engineering at Deakin. That opened my eyes to a whole world of opportunities, so I went straight from that into postgraduate studies, which I completed with Ford and also with Volvo. I just love bringing ideas to life. That's the bit that I really enjoy. I started another company where I could focus on commercialising research and turning those ideas into real things. And out of that came Carbon Revolution. So Carbon Revolution was founded on the development of a carbon fibre wheel for cars, which no one had ever managed to do before. And then my interest in metal forming and research was reignited by a new idea, and so we started FormFlow. So the technology that underpins FormFlow as a company is a bending process for putting sharp bends in a corrugated sheet. And so this has opened up all sorts of possibilities for prefabricated building systems and new ways of doing things. It has particular advantages in bushfire prone areas because it eliminates gaps, and we're constantly discovering new uses for the technology and for the underlying theory. I owe a great deal to Deakin personally, and so to the companies I founded, particularly FormFlow and Carbon Revolution. So it's very humbling to be awarded this honour by the Deakin alumni. Listening to speeches from the award winners last year, two things struck me. What a huge impact the university is having around the world in so many fields of endeavour, and also what can be achieved by the power of good ideas and those people prepared to dedicate themselves to making them a reality. I began as an undergraduate student in 1995 and then moved to postgraduate studies in 1998 and even worked as a lecturer and researcher from 2001 to 2004. And since then, I've collaborated constantly with the university in everything that I've done. Really, I've never left. And in that time, Deakin's helped me access knowledge and skills, provided support, access to incredible people, and a platform to bring my ideas and the ideas of others to life. I'm extremely proud to be part of the Deakin family. I'd like to thank the Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor and the Deakin alumni for this award. It came as a huge surprise and I'm extremely honoured to receive it. I'd like to thank the teams at Carbon Revolution and FormFlow, and particularly those who followed us into these ventures from Deakin. And finally, my family have been so supportive and involved in everything I've done. I think more than ever the world needs people with optimism and ideas and the will and tenacity to pursue them to address the real existential issues that confront us. And I'm sure many of these people and ideas will come from Deakin.
Such an innovative idea. We know that these homes will make a massive difference for members of our community. And as Matt said, optimism is key. Our next Alumni of the Year recipient is Kate Palmer, AM. Kate Palmer, AM, is one of Australia's most experienced and highly regarded sports executives. Currently serving as CEO of One Athletics, Kate has been a leading figure in netball and Australian sport and was the first woman to head Sport Australia as Chief Executive Officer. Through her leadership, Kate has driven governance reform among national sports organisations and has implemented safeguards to protect children in sporting environments. Over her 10 years as Chief Executive Officer at Netball Australia, Kate maintained the game's status as the highest participation sport for women and oversaw the introduction of its national league, Super Netball. Congratulations, Kate Palmer, AM.
It was while I was travelling in Europe in the mid-80s that I decided I wanted to wake up every day and be excited about the prospect of going to work. It was an epiphany that meant I would spend my career working in my passion, which is sport. My mantra became, yes, I will do that. I can do that, and why not? I took every opportunity offered to me, which resulted in experiences I could only dream about. A 12-year stint as a trustee of the MCG, 6 years as chair of the Victorian Institute of Sport, 10 and 12 years respectively as CEO of Netball Victoria and Netball Australia. My career has taken me around the world, meeting people that a girl from Shep could only dream about, developing friendships that last a lifetime, and a platform to contribute to my community and Australia. When I was appointed as CEO of the Australian Sports Commission, I said this job was made for me. The breadth, the complexity, the quality of the people, the massive opportunity for change, and the resources to do it, and a strong sense that I was doing something useful and would make a difference. It was so compelling. However, little did I know that it would be the phase of my career where I would have the greatest opportunity in 30 years to put diversity, the health and well-being of community and women's empowerment at the forefront of my thoughts, and where I could make the most difference. I have no doubt at all that the Deakin University Sport Business program set me up to take advantage of every opportunity that has come my way in my career. There is not one thing in my career that I have achieved on my own. Well, maybe the one thing was the decision to only work with great people. I've stood alongside some of the most wonderful, challenging, and highly motivated humans. They've shared my joy for working in the industry, my values, and importantly, they've spoken out on the issues that I care about. The industry needs to look more like Australia does. Our leaders at the governance level, our coaches, officials, and participants must be more diverse. Equality for women, the rights of the transgender and gender diverse community, and people with disabilities. Recognition of our First People. To achieve this, we need better leaders, those who have the emotional intelligence to build relationships through empathy and connecting with people, with a strong moral compass, who know what it's the right thing to do when they respond to situations of injustice or inequality, those who make tough decisions that are not always popular but are consistent with their morals, those who are willing to admit they don't know the answer and are willing to question why, and those who demand diversity of thought, experience and expertise, who are courageous and willing to have the tough conversations. Most importantly, we need leaders who put people first. Thank you, Deakin University, for giving me the gift of knowledge, a new confidence to continue to learn, and the capability to make a difference in the world of sport and physical activity. It is an honour to receive this award.
What an inspiring and powerful story, Kate. Thank you for paving the way for equal participation in sport and for your work in protecting our youth in these environments. Our next Alumni of the Year recipient is Dr. Miriam Rose Ungunmer Bauman AM. Dr. Miriam Rose is of the Gunditjmeri language group and is an Aboriginal elder from Niue and a renowned artist, activist, writer and public speaker. Miriam Rose was the Northern Territory's first fully qualified Indigenous teacher and has visited schools throughout the top end to advocate for art to be taught as part of every child's education. Among her many achievements and initiatives, she's also established the Miriam Rose Foundation, a not-for-profit organisation that empowers Indigenous youth through education, art, culture and opportunity. Miriam Rose has dedicated her life to creating bright and fulfilling futures for Aboriginal children and youth, maintaining the cultural independence of her people. In 2021, Miriam Rose was named Senior Australian of the Year. Congratulations, Dr. Miriam Rose Ungenmer Bauman, AM.
My name is Miriam Rose Ungenmer Bauman. I was born and grew up here. Behind me are mountain range. So where those mountain finishes, I was born there. For me, those mountain range and the whole bush was my playground. And then one day a teacher offered me a job as an assistant because I was working as a domestic at her house, and she found me sitting there after I finished my chores up, actually, and reading a paperback. And she said, "Oh, can you read?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "Read me a paragraph." So I read her a paragraph, and she said, "You're going to be my assistant teacher." And that's where it all started. Miriam Rose Foundation, which I started, it was in relation to young ones taking their lives through suicide, and we lost 7 from 07 and onwards. So I said, this has to stop. I rounded up the families that have lost loved ones after when I realised that this can't go on, because the last one that had taken his life, he was 22, was my nephew, Liam Maringer, and he was the baby that Pope John Paul holds in the famous photo that the Jesuits had organised to take when he visited us in Alice. You let me know if there's someone hurting, young ones or older people. I can go and help them. And there are other elders that help me deal with these issues. And so I put 4 things that I want to continue to have on offer for the children, of the young ones: art, education, opportunity and culture. I'm very grateful for those awards, and especially the recent one from Deakin. I can't pronounce that word. Alumni Award. And very exciting, and to be acknowledged in the things that I've done with Deakin in education, that sort of thing. And without them, I wouldn't have, and Bachelor Institute, I wouldn't be here now. And worked with other teachers, local teachers from around the communities in the territory. And that was my first experience in working with Deakin for a year, and I wanted to continue to do other degrees with them, which was good, and they were very helpful. It's the thing that you do and are expected to do to help our families in our community and do our best in making community better for all of us to live in.
Thank you, Miriam Rose, and what an important reflection. And thank you for the opportunity for us to see your beautiful place in Nayu country. Our next Alumni of the Year recipient is Louise Adams. Louise Adams is a chartered civil engineer and has over 20 years of experience managing and designing work for civil and multidisciplinary land development projects, as well as technical advisory for project planning. Louise first began working with Aurecon in 2000 as a graduate civil engineer and has worked her way up to become the first female executive director on Aurecon's board. With a background in storm water management, flood risk assessment and mitigation, Louise has undertaken work in the public and private sectors and has played a part in emergency relief efforts. With her experience as a chartered civil engineer, Louise has now stepped up as Aurecon's Chief Executive for Australia and New Zealand and continues to passionately advocate for female leadership and equality within STEM. Congratulations, Louise Adams.
Hello, my name's Louise Adams and I'm the Group Chief Operating Officer for the global engineering and advisory firm Aurecon. From an early age, I always wanted to be an engineer. I believed I could make the world a better place through designing solutions to complex problems. I've been very fortunate off the back of my studies to blend my career with opportunities to travel, having lived and worked on almost every continent and being involved in amazing infrastructure projects across many industries. Most of my career highlights have involved working in developing countries, such as the time I spent working on the redevelopment of the Lahore walled city in Pakistan as part of the Aga Khan Historic Cities Redevelopment Program, or when I worked in Georgetown, Guyana with the UNDP, project managing short-term relief work following significant floods that wiped out much of their water and drainage infrastructure. In both cases, these projects gave me an opportunity to work with local community groups and make a real difference, not only with the immediate impact of the improvements that were made to the infrastructure, but in developing lifelong skills and capabilities and building capacity within those communities to empower their futures. I've spent almost all my career with Aurecon and have been well supported on my journey by a number of leaders and mentors. I've grown particularly passionate about attracting more women into engineering and increasing the diversity of leadership in the infrastructure industry. For me, I have achieved a lot of firsts throughout my career. I was Aurecon's first female executive board director, first female managing director, first female chief executive, and now first female COO. And to me, it is important that I'm not the last. I feel I have a role to play as a visible role model both inside Aurecon, but also across industry, and show young women what exciting opportunities exist in the world of engineering and infrastructure development. Ironically, I was living in the Pilbara when I completed my studies at Deakin, so I did the whole course online. And back then, Deakin was seen as an early adopter of online learning, allowing them to become eminent in this space. And no doubt Deakin's ongoing investment into maintaining themselves as a leader in virtual learning has provided a highly differentiated experience to current Deakin students in what has been an incredibly challenging 18 months. I'd like to start by thanking the Alumni Committee. It is a genuine privilege and I am very grateful to be recognised as one of Deakin University's Alumni of the Year in 2021. I would also like to thank my family, my husband Adrian, my son James, and my two stepdaughters Samantha and Katie. It is fair to say it would be very hard to achieve all that I have without their relentless support and encouragement along the way. And then to Aurecon for the ongoing support and opportunities they have given me throughout my career. I believe that we live in a complex and challenging world, and our experience through 2020 and now in 2021 has surely taught us the importance of a lifelong commitment to learning and adapting. Opportunities exist through Deakin University to find something you're passionate about and to commit to learning and developing additional skills. My time at Deakin opened up a world of opportunities which have allowed me to go forward and make an impact in my chosen career, and for this, I will always be very appreciative. I look forward to connecting with my fellow award winners, each of whom have had incredible achievements in their chosen industries. I am very humbled to be recognised alongside such inspiring people. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Louise. You lead by example and serve as a powerful advocate for organisational diversity and equality within STEM. Our final Alumni of the Year recipient is Dr. Glenn Laverack. Dr. Glenn Laverack is an international leader in public health and has held a distinguished career as an academic and independent advisor for the United Nations, government and development agencies for 35 years in over 50 countries. Glenn has spent his life living and working with people who experience powerlessness and who suffer the consequences of poverty and inequality. Glenn has worked to give them the tools to be empowered as a community and champion their public health. With his range of experience in cross-cultural settings, Glenn's research provides insights and practical solutions for delivering successful public health programs in different cultural contexts. Glenn is committed to working with others to find solutions to the causes of social injustice and health inequalities. Congratulations, Dr. Glenn Laverack.
For me, really, looking back over a long career now of 40 years, having worked in over 50 countries and over 100 different projects internationally, I'm more convinced than ever that solutions, the best solutions to public health, lie in working with people and with communities, rather than trying to control them. To me, public health provides a broad range of opportunities to work internationally and in different areas. And my career was started with 2 years in Sri Lanka as a volunteer when I lived in a village. Nobody spoke English in that village, and I was helping the community, or trying to help the community, build wells and set up a school and set up a library. And to me, that was a really, insightful experience on how people in under-resourced countries live in a rural setting. For me, the highlights in my career have been the opportunities that I've had to work with other people internationally, to be invited into people's lives, to be invited into people's homes, to try and understand the underlying causes, of their powerlessness, of their poverty, and of their poor health. And I would sincerely like to thank Deakin University for recognizing my work through this award. My work has been, over the last 20 years, really 25 years, to promote a more inclusive bottom-up approach to public health, really just through giving people a voice, by giving the people whom we're trying to reach, the so-called beneficiaries of public health, giving them a say in the decision-making processes and the design of public health programs. Doing a PhD at Deakin, for me, was one of the most pivotal points in my career, not just because I was able to focus on a specific piece of research, which led on to lots of other opportunities, but because of some of the inspirational people I met at Deakin University, notably Laurie St. Ledger, who gave me the opportunity in the first place through a chance meeting to go forward and put in a proposal to do my PhD, Ron Labonte, who was a Canadian, who was an outside supervisor, and John Catford. All these people were inspirational, who encouraged me to go on to make a difference through my research. For me, everything started, from a simple, informal conversation over a cup of coffee with an individual, in this case, Laurie St. Ledger, and that led onto, a new career path for me. And I always encourage people in public health to communicate with other people. Yes, of course, we use social media, but nothing beats face-to-face communication. So when we can, to talk to others and to project, our personality to them, because if we have a positive personality and we show that we're willing to make a difference and we're willing to put in the hard work, other people are always willing to give us an opportunity.
Congratulations, Glenn. I met you in the early 90s, and I think it was in London, but then perhaps it was Scandinavia, the big international conference in Tokyo. We had a few beers when we met, had a chat, and I was really impressed about your passion for further education and your commitment in developing countries to enhance the health and well-being of their citizens. Congratulations. I'm proud that your time at Deakin started you on this wonderful journey. You've got terrific achievements, and you continue to work very hard to improve the health and well-being of people across the globe.
It's great to see the work that Glenn is doing. it's certainly important that communities recognise the value in being involved in decisions regarding public health. So please join me in congratulating all of our Alumni Award recipients for 2021, and make sure you share your comments and questions below. I'd now like to invite our Chancellor and past Deakin Alumni Award winner, Mr. John Stanhope, AM, to say a few words.
I'd like to start by thanking our talented MCs. This is a great event in the Deakin calendar. This is a celebration of the Deakin community across its wide range of activities in research, learning and teaching. The Alumni Awards happen each year and are an important event to recognise high achievers. The Alumni Awards strengthens the connection between the university's work in education and research, and the impacts that occur much, much further down the line, the turning of learning into great outcomes. Today, we have rightly acknowledged alumni who are leaders in their professions and in their communities. They are talented and dedicated individuals. Deakin Alumni Award winners hold a special place in the alumni family. These awards are not given without serious consideration. They are a formal acknowledgement of significant achievements and contributions to the community. My congratulations to this year's award winners. May you continue to achieve your best, make a difference in your communities, and of course, enjoy the journey. I strongly encourage you all to stay connected with Deakin. We want to hear more of your work, your successes, how you have overcome challenges, how you are mentoring others. For many in our society, the road ahead will be difficult, but there are many opportunities for Deakin and our alumni to contribute and to help others succeed. Deakin is well known for its resilience and its adaptability. We rise to challenges, and we always do this alongside our community. We look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. Some final comments from our audience today. Bristy says, congratulations to all the great alumni receiving awards. Joel says, so humbled by the amazing achievements I'm seeing here today. Congratulations to all. And Kimberly says, for such a young university, we have so many accomplished and amazing alumni. I'm so proud to be part of this community. So that brings us to the end of today's events. If today's awards have brought to mind someone else from the Deakin community who you believe is making an impact, please share their story with us by submitting a nomination for the 2022 Deakin Alumni Awards. The site to visit is on your screen now, or you can contact the Deakin Alumni Engagement Team for entry details. Thank you to the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Martin, Chancellor Mr. John Stanhope, AM, and Pamela Barhoon for joining us today. And thank you to you for choosing Deakin. Bold visions require courage, but to achieve them requires a society working together, and that's where Deakin's community comes in. Together we continue to build on the strengths that benefit our communities regionally, nationally, and globally. Stay safe, and please look after yourself and others. Yalu Malia.
A single word that would describe my experience at Deakin University would be practical.
Rewarding. Community.
Deakin to me was about connection.
Lifelong friendship.
Life-changing.
Challenging.
Values. Well-rounded.
In hindsight, I think we were pioneers for those times.
That wasn't the question you said.